And here we are, Skyrim, the highly anticipated sequel to the epitome of sandbox RPGs, Oblivion, has finally arrived, and nerds aplenty are fapping all over their keyboards with great praise. RPGs are and likely will always be my favorite genre for gaming, so for me, was Skyrim the holy grail of video games that the fanboys were praising it to be? No. But it is freaking amazing. Let me prefix this review by stating that this is my first Elder Scrolls game. I touched Morrowind in college years ago, but I couldn't get into it at the time. Not because it was a bad game by any means, but because I was more interested in learning about booze and women. So when I first embarked on the land of Skyrim last Friday, my mind was immediately blown. The Elder Scrolls V takes place roughly 200 years following the events that took place in Oblivion, in the heavily Nordic culture-influenced war-torn land of Skyrim. In the midst of a civil war, the game opens with you, a nameless prisoner, on a wagon heading towards an imperial town to be executed for an unnamed crime. As you head to the chopping block, a dragon bursts into town, disrupting the executions, allowing you to escape. From here, we essentially find that dragons have started to appear around the land and are bringing about the prophesized end of the world. Later, it's revealed that you're a Dovahkiin, or Dragonborn, a spirit sent from the gods to kill dragons, with the ability to absorb their powers and slay them with magical shouts. Mixing the dragon invasion into the middle of the Imperial and Stormcloak civil war was quite clever, as it proudly displays the tension between the people and the overwhelming sense of hopelessness that has enveloped the land. But with this comes a lot of politics that you have to deal with and decipher. The elegant character creation system in Skyrim offers several races to choose from, each with unique perks, and you can pretty much build your character to your liking over time, be it a sneaky archer or a plate mail wearing fireball throwing motherfucker. Experience is earned from completing quests and killing monsters, which can then be allocated into health, mana, or stamina. You'll also unlock points that can be distributed into an expansive series of character development trees. Your skills level up automatically simply by using them, so you can essentially max out all of your skills, but only distribute points into and specialize in a select few. I actually really enjoyed this development scheme as it offers good replayability if you want to try the game with different builds. As a Dragonborn, you'll learn various shouts, which are essentially a way to allow non-magic users to use powerful magic. Some of these are required to take down special bosses, and after completing the primary story, you'll learn some seriously awesome shouts. But being that I played as a mage, I didn't really use them that much as I had access to better spells and found my racial perk to be more beneficial. I played the game for roughly 40 hours and ended up at level 27 on the normal difficulty setting. This allowed me to participate in a massive amount of what I'll call side quests, though they aren't really, and finish the primary storyline. The game doesn't end at this point though, in fact, it doesn't end at all. You're free to continue to live on, explore, find and complete more quests, and discover ways to deal with the Civil War and Rebellion. A Radiant story system was developed that essentially generates dynamic quests for you based on what you've completed and where you've explored thus far, so you're always going to have something new to do. The land of Skyrim is absolutely beautiful. In fact, it's one of the most beautifully designed worlds I've seen, with top-of-the-line graphics to match. I'd rank it right up there with The Witcher 2, especially because the PC version of the game allowed me to use a mod that significantly increased the quality of the textures. To me though, games like this need to be played in the third person because I think the first person melee games just look stupid. Who holds weapons out in front of them like that? But when in third person, the animations look pretty wonky much of the time as well. I think that's probably my biggest complaint with the game. The animations just look retarded, especially while running. I also had a lot of issues with the sound as I played. The soundtrack is absolutely amazing to the point where I'm willing to say that it probably has the greatest theme song to any game I've ever played. What's great is that when you're in trouble, be it low health or when you're about to engage in some terrible shit, it starts playing to get your adrenaline pumping so you can fight to see another day. But with this, the music didn't fade away during conversations I had much of the time, and I simply couldn't hear some of the conversations at all, as some of the other NPCs would be speaking significantly louder than the character I was having a dialogue with. In RPGs where dialogues are an important aspect of the storytelling, this was a serious issue for me. And yes, I obviously tinkered with all the sound settings to try to resolve this. Skyrim is just loaded with massive and simply beautiful dungeons that as far as I could tell were all unique. The game world itself is one of the largest I've played, and pretty much anything you can see, you can explore. Horses can reduce travel time, and you can take advantage of a fast travel system to instantly teleport to locations you've already discovered. I think this is the game's greatest charm, having the ability to explore such an exquisite world at your leisure, and finding dungeons and secret locations on your own without being told to go there is very empowering. You can do anything you want in any order you want. In fact, you don't have to complete the main storyline at all if you so desire. The potential for adventure is unlimited, especially on the PC with the mods that are sure to arise over time. But being that the world is so expansive, I didn't really find there to be a wide variety of enemies to fight. Most of the monsters I encountered were various forms of undead, and they rarely presented much of a challenge. Dragons spawned randomly and continuously throughout the world, but even they didn't offer much of a challenge. Unfortunately, I had a lot of technical problems as well. Finding the right graphical settings to get the right detail and performance is expected when you're playing on a PC, but crashing constantly to the desktop certainly is not. Likely this is something that will be fixed over time, but as for the time being, it still happened here and there. I also found the interface to be garbage. It relies heavily on unnecessary scrolling and didn't properly use the screen real estate, which in the end made inventory management a pain in the ass. It's also difficult to see which active effects you have on your character and knowing how long they're going to last. Hopefully some decent mods arrive on the scene quickly to resolve these downfalls. So in the end, what we've got is a massive game with absolutely stunning visuals and a great community to give us additional content and features over time. Being my first Elder Scrolls game, I have to say I was very pleased with my gameplay experience. While there are some downfalls, I'm sure they can be looked over as minor issues, and none of them should turn away any gamers considering this title. Is Skyrim a Game of the Year contender? Absolutely, but it's not the perfect game that others may have already claimed. Check out the full write-up and screenshots over at ZeitgeistGameReview.com. Stay up to date by following me on Twitter and Facebook, and make sure to check out all of the other great gaming entertainment on the Game Station. Don't forget to subscribe and press the thumbs up button. Thanks for watching.